telling me that women's fencing hasn't been part of the world's until now? Even though fencing's been part of it since...
Yep, with only men competing. Which is why, if we win gold, no one will be able to deny our talents.
Well, women shouldn't have to win gold to stop men from throwing rocks at them for playing a sport.
Getting attacked was a low point.
But hiring Drake private detectives is a highlight.
Practice, eat, practice, sleep, practice, practice. It's nice to have someone to talk to for once.
Life of an athlete is that hard?
And then some. But it's worth it. By the end of this gig, I bet you'll get the itch.
Me? No, I doubt it. But I think I know someone who might.
Well, I have to say, this actually looks really exciting. So how many of you will make the team?
3 and an alternate. Coach Homer starts cuts this afternoon. That's my fiercest competition, La Jaguarella. She studied under a master swordsman since she was 6.
Schooling isn't everything.
Her grandfather's a fencing legend in Spain.
I had right away, Sabina! Today is not the day to be testing my patience.
Like any day is. That's Valentina Levitt, total hothead. And that's Sabina, her younger sister. All grit, the both of them.
How so?
Poor, orphaned. An uncle introduced them to the sport. And their fencing and strategy and timing, it's pure magic.
All right, enough. I'll not stand by idle while you sully a gentleman's game. We gave you the vote. We bought you the nice house, still not enough. Now you want our sports.
Put down the lady's property.
Make me.
You should leave.
No woman tells Archie Avery what he can or can't do. Get off me.
¡Ayúdame, por favor! ¡Venga, rápido!
Check her pulse. Trudy.
Coach Homer. Ruby.
She's okay.
My God, what's happened?
Someone's wheels are turning.
A women's fencing team is about to make history and their coach is suddenly killed? Seems a little suspicious.
Speaking of suspicious, what happened to that Archie Avery?
He left before the cops even got here.
Well, that's one way to get out of questioning.
He's got to be involved somehow.
I didn't kill Coach! This isn't right! Help, somebody, please!
Shaw, hurry up. Detective McIntosh is already outside. We shouldn't keep a lead detective waiting.
Officer Rogers, she really needs that head wound checked by a doctor.
It's McIntosh's call to make. Out of the way, ladies.
Mary, they brought you on a homicide case? That's big.
Sadly, no. Detective McIntosh thought the words women and locker room meant ladies in compromised states of undress, so... Hey, news travels fast if you two beat us to the scene.
Actually, we're just here on a security job. One of the fencers is our client.
Do you think they're in danger?
It would appear they're in a lot more danger now. Why did that officer take Ruby so quickly? He barely questioned her.
Or combed the crime scene.
All I know is that McIntosh is quite confident that Ruby did it. Gals, I should really go.
Confident based on what?
Something about a damning statement made by a jaguarella. I'll see you.
As I told the detective, I sought Coach Homer for my parry work. When I entered the locker room, Ruby had already killed him.
Did you see Ruby actually stab him?
Who needs to see when they know? Coach was cutting her from the team today. Isn't that what you detectives call el motivo?
They're canceling the trials.
What? Until when?
I don't know. The manager's sending all the women home.
But we paid to use this space. There's a trial deadline we have to meet. Wait, won't even qualify for the Worlds if we don't have a coach. No te creo.
Estoy rodeada de payasos. Todas. Vamos, vamos.
Jaguarella says that Ruby was about to be cut from the team.
So she murders her coach to make the team? But without a coach, you can't even compete.
Makes no sense at all. It's not slippery enough to account for a fall. Someone or something must have knocked Ruby out.
Take a look at this. Talcum powder? We are in a locker room.
You see that? Looks like a shoe print.
Yeah, that print doesn't match the shoes that the coach is wearing.
It's also different from the women's fencing shoes.
Could be our intruder.
Did any of the fencers mention the last time they saw Coach alive?
Sabina said he let them in right before we arrived, then went to go change.
So the murderer's window of opportunity is between then and Jaguarella's scream. That's pretty tight.
Yes, and then Archie Avery just happened to arrive.
A dead coach and no female fencing team.
His lucky day.
The way work's been going, I was beginning to forget what the two of you look like.
Oh, well, I'm the one with the impeccable fashion sense and hair, and she is...
Oh, this should be good. Oh, laughter, my old friend. Right, you want to know about the fencer?
You don't think Ruby's a killer, do you?
Oof, that one, timid as a doe. She needed stitches to suture up her head wound. The point of impact was up and above the back of the head. Most likely, she was attacked.
Thought so. I'll track down Archie. It's time he answered some questions.
I'll do the same with Ruby.
You'll let us know if anything fishy comes up in the coroner's report?
You'll be hearing from me. Come on, it's funny.
Mind if we join you?
For lunch? Yes, of course.
We heard that you were tagging along with Detective McIntosh this morning.
Homicide. A women's fencing coach was murdered. They were on their way to Worlds.
Well, broads can't kick a ball or shoot a hoop or play a, fence?
A fence of foil.
My point is, society just wants to see you gals as nothing more than a painted face.
But I don't have daughters.
Oh, I am surprised to hear you say that. A good surprised. I honestly think an innocent woman has been accused of a crime here. McIntosh barely processed the scene before handcuffing poor Ruby, and sorry, what was I saying?
A good man is dead, Mary.
And I never refuted that.
A suspect found right at the scene with means and opportunity. What's not open and shut about this case? Yeah, Shaw. Wouldn't want you to make a fool of yourself spreading that baloney around the station.
Easy, Harvey, easy. She's still learning, ain't you, officer?
I guess so.
Always a pleasure, Shaw.
Hey, Mary.
Let's go.
Okay.
I gave up everything for the Worlds. I quit my job, sold my cat. My mother doesn't even speak to me because of my unfemininity.
Ruby, if you didn't kill Coach Homer, help us prove it. What were you doing in the men's locker room?
I was gonna beg not to be cut, but I didn't even get the chance.
Coach Homer was already dead?
No, he was alive. He told me to wait by the entrance, and then next thing I knew, everything went black. When I woke up, I had handcuffs on.
Wait, that door is the only entry point, so if you didn't see anyone coming after you, that means the intruder was already waiting inside.
Ruby, these are some pictures of the foil that was used in Coach's murder. If we could connect this weapon to its owner, we could clear your name.
That's not a foil. It's a saber. There are 3 types of blades in fencing. Women can only compete in foil.
So that means the saber that stabbed Coach Homer most likely belonged to a man.
A woman has no reason to own one. He was our only champion in the sport. Devoted to our future.
Did he have any enemies?
I only ever heard him speak ill of one person, some man named Archie.
Archie? Who's he?
The man Frankie is questioning as we speak.
That was a good one, Arch.
Don't let a lady ruin your fun.
What are you doing here? Following me?
Frankie Drake, private detective. I have a few questions regarding an investigation.
Investigation? The law states a man has a right to free speech.
It's regarding the murder of Coach Milton Homer.
Who?
The women's fencing coach. Maybe you wouldn't be so lost right now if you hadn't been so busy evading the police.
I didn't evade police. I went into that gym to prove a point, and I did. No thanks to you and your
partner.
A hysteric scream sent you lot racing to the locker room. As far as I thought, a woman broke a nail.
So why leave the gym over a broken nail?
Because no sane man jumps to the conclusion of murder over a scream.
Lady, quit the radio plays.
This would never happen at my club. Men only.
Well, I wouldn't know much about that, but you know what I do call someone who creates an ambush during the time of a murder and then leaves? An accomplice.
Arch.
Don't worry about her.
Can't help, late for the morgue. Is it a bird on your arm?
I keep my bird in my pants and my falcon on my arm.
I hope you haven't waited too long to use that line.
Meet Abacus.
Is Abacus holding a human finger?
Is it still human if it's no longer attached?
And I've lost patience. Good day.
Oh, wait, please. I'm Basil. I'm a falconer. Abacus found this pinky during a flight. I took it to the police, and they sent me here.
You're trying to find its owner.
Wouldn't you want your pinky back? Please help. No one who's passed by has stopped, except for you. You're also the prettiest, I might add, with hair like Persephone.
You don't have to bring the ancient gods into this. I'll help. Call me Flo.
I can think of a few other names I'd like to call you.
Are you as bad a falconer as you are a flirt? Severed below the proximal phalanx, distal phalanx still intact. Let's go to the operating wing, birdie boy. See if anyone whizzed in without a pinky. Why does a falconer have a business card anyway?
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people employ my services.
I'm happy to see the athletes are back to practicing.
Well, we know Jaguarla has a way with words. Yep. Do you think the average person knows that a fencing blade is dull at its tip?
Nope. They would use that blade as a regular sword.
But the murderer knew to break it to make it sharp.
Right, which brings us back to Archie's involvement. He lied about knowing Coach Homer, and he has access to a saber.
What?
Get off me, woman!
I came in and heard a sound and found him. The murderer's returned, Miss Drake.
You expect us to believe that you weren't the one who snuck into the locker room yesterday and killed Coach Homer?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Ashamed? You ought to be ashamed. Disrupting the natural order.
Why don't you just stop with the rant and tell us what you did?
I was doing society a favor.
Putting on a skirt?
Whatever gets the job done. Rumor is the lady fencers were going ahead with the trials. Only option left was to stop them for good.
Think you can try and harm us? Hey.
Harm? You ain't worth the jail time, sweetheart. If I dressed up like one of yous, kept my mask on, I'd pass the trials and make the team.
Then what?
Then you know how inadequate you all are. Give up and go home.
What's this on the saber?
What's it to you?
Coach Homer was killed with a saber.
Except I was working yesterday morning. Go talk to my boss. I'm a fencer, a butcher, but I ain't your killer.
Not quite the missing appendage we were looking for.
I'll take your word for it. So, no man missing a finger at the hospital, no man here.
I didn't think the morgue would be such a dead end. But when isn't it?
Not a complete loss of time. I get to see where you work.
All roses and formaldehyde here.
Not only are you a doctor,
medical resident,
but a coroner.
Coroner's assistant.
You have two jobs. Such a rare species before me.
First time I've had a man refer to me the way he talks to his pet bird.
No woman in my family ever had a job, ever, let alone two. Flo, your mind, your talent, extraordinary.
Thank you. Lately, all I've been hearing is to take it easy.
Has the world gone completely batty? So, where to next? Cemetery?
I'm afraid our adventure ends here. I have work I can't ignore.
No, of course. Duty calls. It just feels so wrong to toss it. It was somebody's.
I've been thinking about the murder.
Don't worry about the case. The deal was Frankie goes out with Alessandro, so you can spend more time here to practice.
A fencer may execute an attack expecting a parry riposte, preparing to counter riposte.
Was any of that in English?
Thrust, block, counterattack. Wanna try? It's more fun with an opponent. The goal of an assault is to score points. Target area is the torso, not including the arms.
It's a very narrow target area.
See why fencing is compared to chess? It's all strategy. First fundamental.
Well, I saw you do this enough at the trials.
Next, to advance, lead with your front leg, back leg follows.
Okay, I got it.
Third, when I approach, retreat. Move your back foot first, front foot follows. That's it.
Okay, when do I get to score points?
Someone's competitive. To land a point, a touche, a fencer moves into a lunge. Foil ready. I see you built up to your lunge with a couple of small steps.
Did I do something wrong?
On the contrary, Trudy Clark, you just established a signature move. Again.
It's like a frozen lollipop. You're not a fan, are you?
I tell you, Frankie, this is not better than gelato. And look, it's melt on my gloves.
On your lips as well. We tried.
Yeah.
So can I ask you something?
See?
If women were to race in your circuit, would you be for it?
I don't care about the race's sex. As long as they are a worthy competitor, that's all that matters.
And what if they started horning in on your records and your prize money and your fame?
Maria Antoinette di Avanzo, Aluska Jankova, Camille Dugast.
Who are they?
3 females already compete on the European circuit, and nobody want to kill them for that.
So, you Italians beat us in sport equality and frozen treats.
Frankie, there is a simpler option if you want to eliminate unwanted competition.
What's that?
To cheat.
So what was in Homer's autopsy report?
It's here somewhere. Here, anyway. Flo. Don't make me feel embarrassed. Don't say anything. We got a lot to do, ladies. Oh, here we are. He was in near perfect health, minus the blade through his heart. The most interesting detail in here lies outside of the body. Traces of cocaine were found on his clothes.
Why would he have cocaine on his uniform?
Doctors write prescriptions to combat maladies, fever, headache, indigestion.
There's got to be something else. You know, the white substance we found at the crime scene could be cocaine, too.
Maybe someone on the team was taking it because they were sick?
Maybe someone on the team is using it to cheat. One of the fencers could be using cocaine to gain a competitive edge. Trudy, why don't you go check out the trials? I just have a quick pit stop to make.
Ooh, pit stop. Someone's hanging out with their racer boyfriend.
Should I be impressed? Well, we have a little chat. Looks like your arm's getting tired anyway.
It's called an offhand, and I keep it limp to distract an opponent's gaze. In the 15th century, the offhand held a lantern to light the piece while you fenced. Not that you're here for a history lesson.
You know, I thought you were a narcissist when you called it your club, but it is actually called Avery's Men's Fencing Club.
Indeed it is. And I'm recruiting.
Maybe you could explain to me how a saber with your club's initials ended up in the heart of a man that you said you didn't know. An alibi rules out Lewis, but we know that there was someone from your club in the locker room that morning.
Yes, there was. Your victim, our old coach. He left a gold-winning men's team for women's amateur hour.
So it was Homer's saber. He kept it. It doesn't explain why you lied to me.
Better no one know our past association with Milton. What you don't seem to realize is that the men of this club are motivated by something much grander than retribution.
Enlighten me.
Legacy, Drake. Legacy. After this summer, we'll be heroes. They'll study us in schools.
I hope they do. Right after learning about the women winning gold.
Touch! Off target point. You are a traitor to your own sister. Ah, you're both blind as mole rats.
Val, would you calm down for once?
Is her tantrum her signature move? What's all this?
It's Coach Homer's belongings.
Ida versus Ruby, bout 1. Valentina versus Sabina, bout 3.
Bout is a friendly game. Coach was filming us pre-trial, and then we'd watch the films together.
To fix mistakes.
Yeah.
Avant-garde. Wait, was this camera running the morning he was killed?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's right. That's odd. It's gone.
That means the police must have seized it. I have a contact at the station. We need to look what's on that film. I'm gonna borrow this.
I thought everyone from the station hung out at that Hungarian joint.
Don't journalists know it's rude to just sidle up to someone?
Why is it so easy to rile you up? You mind if I join? I'm starving.
To be honest, I'm not having very much luck with lunch company these days.
Let's change that, shall we?
Oh, if I told that joke to the gals, they'd wash my mouth. That was so...
They just laugh. You overthink matters far too much, Mary. You know what? Joke's not even that funny, though. Don't bother telling them. I've been told listening is one of my greatest qualities.
Along with what? Your anarchist tendencies and stubborn nature?
Talk to me. Off the record.
Why should I trust you?
Because I'm trustworthy.
Ended up at the old mill. Naturally, we split the bill.
First date and he goes Dutch? Honey, move on.
Going Dutch is a modern woman's prerogative.
Sure is, but whose idea was it? Were you reaching for your purse? Or did he push the billfold across the table? Uh-huh. Lose him. Dating during a residency is a distraction anyway.
We gotta go for it when we can, Flo. You know it always covered for you.
I'm working around the clock with 2 jobs, and I don't get a break on my rent by living at home like you.
A break? I moved back home to care for my sick father while I work here. Plus co-check at the Broadview 5 nights a week.
Okay, I'm pulling my foot out of my mouth, sorry. We're both very busy.
Yes. Only difference is I still make time to have a life. You should too, or it'll be over before you know it. Any luck finding that missing reel?
I left word with Mary. Coach Homer didn't let up until they perfected their mistakes. He spent 3 reels on Ida's footwork, 2 on Sabina's lunges.
Hello? Ida? Yes, of course. We'll be right there. The fencers were unexpectedly called back to the gym.
That doesn't sound good.
This arm all the way back behind your back for stabilization. Perfect chin.
Here you worried you had bad news.
Quite the opposite. We have a new coach. The team's been saved.
That's great. Who is she?
Esmeralda Moreno, a champion years ago. Hasn't been active in fencing for years.
Why not?
Scandal plagued her career. But beggars can't be choosers.
Let's go see if she wants to have a chat. Coach Moreno? Sorry to interrupt.
I thought I met all the ladies.
We're Ida's security.
We are also investigating the murder of Coach.
You two should go. No offense, but we finally have a fresh start. Can't risk you scaring off our new coach with your investigation.
Your last coach was murdered. She deserves to know if she's in any danger.
She's a pro. She can handle it.
We're on a job. We're staying.
Then it's either the team or your nosy detective friends.
Who are you to give such an order?
I have to agree with her. Whatever their business, these ladies are a distraction. We have work to do.
Ida, your safety is going to be compromised.
I know, it's just not worth more than my dreams. Goodbye, ladies.
Thanks for bringing us the missing film, Mary. You're a hero.
I just really need to get this back in evidence before Officer Ritchie starts his next shift. Catalogs his shirts down to the last button.
Hopefully we find what we need to catch a murder and get our jobs back. The camera angle, it doesn't cover the entranceway to the locker room. Wait.
Jaguela's shoes. They're different from everyone else's.
Maybe the tread pattern will match what we found in the locker room.
She was first on the crime scene, and she pointed the finger at poor Ruby. Maybe she did it.
Well, it's gonna be hard to question her since we're barred from the gym.
I know who we can talk to.
That cheat Jaguela had you fired?
We didn't mean to upset you, Ruby. We just thought you might be able to give us some insight into Jaguela's character.
Oh, yes, I can. It's not you. A guard handed me this. The Workers' Gazette wrote a piece on me. A police source is quoted saying my arrest was false. So why haven't I been released?
Could I see that newspaper, please?
Why did you call Jaguela a cheat?
Because she is. Tried to offer me some of her courage powder.
Cocaine? Was that allowed?
Most athletes don't get caught.
What did Coach Homer think about drug use?
Big no-no. She knew, too. Only became more creative hiding it.
The shoes, the cocaine. Jaguela was in that locker room.
Evidence points to a struggle. Question is, how far did she take it?
I've seen athletes eat bull testes to win. Murder's not so far-fetched.
Trustworthy. That's a laugh.
You okay, Mary?
No, I'm fine. But he won't be. Okay, Chakowitz, you've called men before. This is no different. Just calling a falconer about a finger. Why am I schwitzing? That's what happens when you wear the good dress to work. All the dead people. Instead of wearing just your regular old thing. Hello, Basil, it's Flo. What voice? No, this is my normal voice. No, don't flatter yourself. Look, can you meet me at 4? I think there's one more place we can look. I'll bring the pinky.
Where's she going?
Gee, look at that.
Got a sec?
What are you two doing here?
Not paying off an accomplice to help in a murder plot.
It's nothing like that. See?
He supplies you cocaine? So he will help the female athletes if there's a payday involved.
I didn't murder Coach.
You framed Ruby.
I didn't want the police poking around. It's enough Coach Homer discovered my secret.
Is that what you were talking about in the locker room?
Yes. Asked me if it was safe.
Safe, so Coach Homer changed his opinion on drug use?
I don't know for certain. He dropped the vial, it broke. Then I rushed out to see what the commotion was in the gym. When I got back, it was too late.
Why are your fencing shoes different from the other women?
The other ones pinched you tight. In 4 years, I'll be too old to compete. This competition is my last chance. I didn't have you fired to get away with murder. I had you fired because if you scare off Coach Moreno, you kill my quest for gold.
We don't think you're the murderer. We're sure you're gonna do great in the Worlds.
Of course I will. I am the best. Unlike that loca. Who? Valentina. She's peligrosa, dangerous. Oh. How's that for an off-target touch? She has no control over her temper.
I believe you on that one. I've seen it for myself.
First, she hits me, then breaks my new foil.
Well, blades must break all the time.
Old, maybe. A new one? Impossible. Ruby was out. Val was next. No way we could win gold with her temper. Everyone knew it. Even Coach.
Oh, hey, I'll catch you guys later. Mary! Hey, this is a nice surprise.
You promised we were off the record.
Well, I didn't name you as my source.
You didn't have to. Detectives Hunter and Lyle know you're a journalist. They've seen us speaking. You put your hand over your heart.
I have a journalist's duty.
A journalist's duty? This is no public service. This is you grinding the axe you have against the police. That's selfish.
I'm selfish? You're here because you're worried about your job.
No. An innocent woman's life is at stake here. Insulting police work is only going to jeopardize Ruby's due process. You know, I really hoped that you'd be better than this.
Mary!
Thank you for meeting with us.
I have a soft spot for underdogs.
That's what you think we are?
That's what we both are.
This is a photo of the broken saber that was used to murder your coach. And this is a photo of Jaguarella's foil you broke today.
So?
The breaks are identical. 3 inches of the blade. Gone.
Impossible feat, unless it was done by the same person.
Val, you are all out of your pretty little skulls. My sister and I rule the Peace. We got here without any handouts or drugs. I'll have to kill someone for a spot on the team I earned.
Unless your coach was about to cut you because of a violent temper.
Only a fool cuts his best player for something like that. Wasn't me. You both saw me fence my sister that morning, unlike Ruby, who wasn't in the gym.
I swear, she is different outside of the competition. But she's right. This wasn't us.
Gals, I'm sorry this film reel wasn't more help.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Mary.
You are?
Gals, this is Stephen Reed. He writes for the Workers' Gazette.
Stephen? How can we help you?
Mary's told me about your case. I brought everything that's ever been written about the Toronto fencing circuit. I wanted to help.
Articles on both men and women?
Well, our jobs are similar in how an offbeat lead can help crack a tricky case.
That is very helpful. Thank you, Stephen.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen.
I'll pitch in with the last pile.
I think that's fine. You've done enough.
Except your tone tells me I still have a ways to go before I make it up to you.
Listen to this. Team leader warns of tough slog.
We've been through that one. He's the same guys before.
Gals, who was the coach in 1919?
Oh, I got that. Yeah, it was still McDonough.
Thank you.
Anybody want a popsicle?
Thank you.
Welcome. It's Trudy.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, I found it. Frankie, look.
Esmeralda Moreno disgraces her sport and her country. Coach Moreno's fall from grace. This must be the scandalous past that Ida was alluding to.
Seems she was partial to a narcotic cocktail named The Duchess?
Crooked coach.
She was blacklisted for life.
She was cheating to win.
The Duchess took the life of a fencer in 1908, and Moreno became the scapegoat for the entire scandal.
Men were using it twice as much as women, yet she's the one who takes the fall.
Patriarchal oppression.
Exactly.
I like him. So, do you think Moreno killed Coach Homer in order to regain her sports status?
Well, anyone who leads the first women's team to Worlds would be a national hero.
Smoking gun. Moreno became a coach when she could no longer play.
Wait, she started coaching Sabina since she was 5 up until a few years ago.
Looks like we found our guilty fencers in all of this.
Which means that Ruby is innocent? I knew it!
Thanks for your help. You can relax, Mary. He's gone now.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what came over me.
I'd say a very helpful and handsome journalist.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, according to this article, Sabina was a prodigy, and Moreno was desperate to coach her and was given permission on one condition.
Which was?
She'd have to coach Valentina, too. Sabina insisted.
So Sabina made them a package deal from the start, even at the expense of her own success. It's Sabina. She's the mastermind.
But weren't both girls fencing at the time of the murder?
Oh, Mary, we're gonna need to hold on to that reel for a little bit longer.
Sigmund, we ain't blowing off. We need to check these caskets.
I've got no time to cater to the public's every whimsy.
Public whimsy? You and I are peers.
I'm under a lot of pressure. You have no idea.
Oh, no. I'm not greasing your palm. I learned my lesson last time.
A bribe? Florence, please. You and I are peers.
Hard to believe you still live with your mother.
Doesn't a man deserve his dignity before he's surrendered to the earth? Please, oblige our request.
Oh, save it for the softies. What's one severed finger?
Oh, heavens, the man's choking.
Oh.
He nearly swallowed the finger. Flo, you saved the man's life.
Sigmund, now you owe me. Crowbars. Let's open these up.
What if he's already been singed?
That's putting it mildly. One left nail to pain. Finally. Help me out.
Oh my goodness. 9 digits. Missing a pinky. Flo, he's a match.
Care to do the honors?
I want to thank you for all your help.
What do you have in mind?
My place is nearby.
The bird stays outside. Bye, Sigmund.
Arrête! If the retreating fencer changes the distance by slowing, advancing, or stopping, she is the attacker. It's all in the retreat.
That's funny. We could say the same thing.
What are you doing here?
Why don't we just show you?
Judy and I spliced together some of Coach Homer's old practice footage.
Oh, you can't get enough of me, can you? In every film lunge, Sabina is slightly airborne before she hits the ground. A signature move, one might say.
Another signature move is a fencer's offhand. Here you can see Sabina's hand is in a tight fist shape. The true mark of a professional athlete is their ability for precision and repetition.
Which Sabina executes in every reel, except this one. The morning Coach Homer was killed.
Here you can see her lunge isn't airborne, but she moves forward. And her hand isn't in a fist, but it's limp.
Impossible. Stance and reflex don't change overnight.
Sabina, it wasn't you behind that mask. There's only one person who could imitate you well enough to fool Valentina, and that is your old coach.
And you wanted Sabina to win gold, so you agreed to help.
You're only here because you helped her murder? Why?
I had to.
For a new legacy.
Sabina, you killed Coach Homer. You knew that he was going to cut Val because of her temper, and there's no way that you would go to the Worlds without her. You waited in the locker room for Jaguarella to leave, and once she did, you knocked out Ruby and you killed Coach. You got back out here before the cops arrived.
I'm so sorry, but it was supposed to be both of us on that podium.
It still can be.
Frankie, watch out!
Okay. It's all in the reflexes.
Here. It goes here.
Golly, what's gotten into you?
A falconer.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Miss Giaffa, care to comment on the recent arrest of Sabina Levitt and Esmeralda Moreno? On the record?
Only that I am indebted to Drake Private Detectives and Miss Mary Shaw for assisting in my release. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have fencing trials to return to.
Miss Shaw, care to comment? Case or non-case related? Perhaps just journalist kiss related?
Well, that depends. Are we on or off the record?
Ready? Mm-hmm. En garde. Prête? Allez!
What does that mean? Go? Yes! Whoa, you're so unsportsmanlike. I was asking for clarification.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Good thing Ida isn't here to see you decimate her sport.
Hey.
Is there any news?
She will be fencing for gold.
Well, women's individuals foil. Well, it's not the national team they hope for, but still, progress.
Speaking of progress, Mary, where do you stand with Steven?
Oh, yes, Mary. Will you be seeing him again?
Well, I don't know. Gals, I'm in the middle of a game here.
Game over. So you're gonna kiss the lefty again or what?
Well, what makes you think I haven't already?
Mary.